Let's go to the next table. The next table here, we have two tables here. We have a purchase order. We have table 1, which is the main table. We also have table 2. On this table 2 now, your employee want to know the number of products that was bought on this particular date. You want to know the number of products and the number of and the total cost of the products that was bought on this particular listed dates. Okay, so this is how you can go about that. Okay, so you just click, you can use VLOOKUP to quickly get that without stressing yourself much. Okay, so now this is the 1st April. You don't need to start going to sort or start doing find search, start looking out for 1st of April 2023. You start looking out for it on your data, on your table. What if it has a very large table? Will you start looking out for where is 1st April, and you start picking it one by one and start putting down the records based on what was required of you? You start writing out the record of that particular cell. No, you can use your VLOOKUP to get those values. Let's see how we go about it. Put your equal sign. Let's say VLOOKUP. Now, what is our lookup value? This is our lookup value, the table array. So we are looking at from the dates down to the total. So we are going to highlight everything. The easiest way you can go about it, if you don't want to highlight everything, in case you have a very large table, just come here. This cell is what? This is a B3. Then put your semicolon. Then scroll down to the last data, the last cell on your table. Click on it. Sorry. You have your B3 column. Then you now click on this. Okay, so it's been highlighted. It has highlighted the entire table. Or you can as well highlight the table yourself. Okay, so if you don't want to go through that process, you can highlight the table yourself. But hence, you know the labels, the cell label of the first table, of the first cell to the last cell. You can impute it directly. Okay, which is what we just did. Okay, then you have your comma. Okay, so what's the next thing there is column index number. What's the column index number? What do we want the cell to return for us? Okay, we are looking at the product, which is the item here. So click on it, and which is what number? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we are returning the 4th column. Okay, 4th. So you type 4 here. Then you now say comma. You type 4, you say comma. Then the next thing again is, do you want it an exact match or do you want approximate match? We want exact match because we want it to return exactly what we want, the value the value from the table. Okay, we don't want approximate match because we needed it exactly it is on the table. That's how we want it. Okay, so you now put click on exact. It's either you use false or use 0. Okay, so some cases you see us using 0, you see us imputing the false. It's the same thing. Okay, it all stands for exact match. Now press your enter key. Okay, you know that it has returned the value, the product that was purchased on this particular date, which is power bank. Then we have succeeded in getting this product. Then what about the units? So you have gotten this. Now let's check if we are correct. 1st April, this is 1st April. What was the product there? The product is power bank. Okay, so since we've gotten that, let's duplicate it on another cell. Okay, so let's come to the units. The unit there is let's copy this without wasting time. Let's copy this formula. Let's say copy, then come to this cell. Let's say Ctrl V. Then what we'll do here, we are going to change the column index. Okay, so what do we want? What's our index number? Okay, so now this is unit. The entire table was highlighted. Okay, so let's count the column number that we are returning. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the unit. Okay, so now let's impute 5 here. Let's say 5 and press our enter key. Okay, so it has returned the unit, the unit item, the number of items that was purchased during on the 1st of April 2023. So the number of power bank is 120. Okay, so now let's replicate it. Now what about the cost? What was the cost of this, the cost of power bank? The cost of power bank, that unit cost is what? So let's, without wasting time, let's come here and say Ctrl V, because we've copied it previously. So the unit cost is on what column? Is on column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, column 6, right? So let's come to this point where we have our column index number. So now let's put 6 there. Okay, let's say 6. We've imputed 6 there. Now press your enter key. Okay, so it has returned the unit cost. So let's replicate it. Okay, let's come here again. The total, what's the total for this 120 power bank that was purchased on this particular date? So now we don't know. Let's check it out. Ctrl V. So now what's the index, column index number? Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 6. Okay, okay, total 7. The 7th column is the index number. So we are returning the total, which is on column 7. So let's type 7 there. Okay, so we might choose to put 0 here, or might leave it at false. It's the same thing. Okay, let's press enter. So it has returned the value, the total value, okay, of 120 units. Whatever changes you make here, it will also affect this particular table. Okay, so if for any reason, let's replicate it. Okay, so that's it. If for any reason the value changes to, let's say 100, and you press your enter key, see that it has affected the value here as well. Okay, so you don't need to start going to your table to adjust anything. Okay, so let's leave it at that 120. Okay, press your enter. So it's now on 120. So we have seen how we use VLOOKUP to populate this value without wasting time. Okay, without going about it one after the other. So let's look at what we have on the next table. Okay, the next one, we have a product, and let's assume the unit was not given to us and we don't know the unit, and the unit price, we are asked to get the unit price from our previous sheets, our previous table. Okay, and then, so how do we get the unit price of this particular product? Let's assume we have so many items on this particular column. Okay, and you are asked to get the unit price from the previous table. So how do you go about it? Let's come here. Let's use our VLOOKUP to get the value from the other table. Okay, so now let's say equal to, let's say VLOOKUP okay, then VLOOKUP, what's our lookup value? This is our lookup value, which is B4. Okay, let's say B4. Let's come here and type B4. Say B4. Okay, let's put your comma. Then the table array, let's go to the other sheet. So as you click on the other sheet, the name of the sheet comes up. So what's your table array from this sheet? Okay, we are looking at the unit cost, just the unit cost. So let's highlight from this item. Okay, we don't need all the table, but you can still use all the table if you so desire. Okay, so this item, so let's say comma. So the column array is what number do you want it to return? We want it to return the column index number. Let's count 1, 2, 3, right? 3. Then put your comma. So we want it exact match. Use your type 0. Okay, so it has brought up the unit price of this particular product. Now let's check it out. Smartwatches, is it 25,000? Earpods, is it 18,000? Headphone, is it 12,000? Let's go to an previous table and check. This earpods, 18,000. Smartwatches, is it 25? Yes, it's 25,000. So whatever changes you make here, it will affect this other side as well. Okay, so now how do we get our units? Let's assume maybe somebody bought a power bank of let's say somebody bought 9 power banks. Okay, so what's the total of that 9 power bank based on this unit price? We want the whole of this to be a whole number. We don't want decimal fraction. It's a number. Okay, so we want it a full number, so let's make it a full number. And I said okay, so that is it. Then so 9. Okay, how do we get the total? The total will be equal to C4 multiplied by D4 will give you the value here. Okay, that's it. So we're having 0 here because we don't have any value here. Okay, so let's assume this place is 10. Okay, so you see the value here. Let's put here as 7. You have your value. Let's say somebody bought 15. This is 15 headphone. Okay, so you have this total. Okay, so that's it. Sometimes this is usually used in the supermarket also, in case you want to know, maybe instead of going over calculating how many products, how many power bank, I need 7 power bank or I need 20 power bank, you just come here, type 20 and it gives you the total of that 20. Okay, you just tell the person 20 power bank costs, total of 20 power bank is 400,000 at the rate of 20,000 naira each. Okay, so that's it for that. Okay, so now let's see how we can have this product here replicated here. Okay, let's say we still need the same product, but we want to use VLOOKUP data and VLOOKUP Excel data validation. Okay, VLOOKUP Excel data validation. Okay, VLOOKUP data validation. We want to use the validation here to list these values. Okay, so now let's come to this point. Let's click here, and now let's say we want all these cells. So now let's say let's go to our data validation. Okay, click on your list, click on the list. So what do you want it to list there? Want it to list all these products. In case we have up to 100 products or more, this is how you list it. Okay, so you have everything on one cell. Okay, so you come here, you see you have your power bank, you do your changes here. Okay, we have succeeded in doing this. Okay, so now we want to get the unit price. We want it same here. Okay, so let's click on this. Let's highlight what we have here. Let's say Ctrl+C to copy it. Okay, then press your escape key, come to this point, then say Ctrl+V to paste that same value there. But one thing you need to note is this, that the cell reference, the VLOOKUP value, the lookup value, the label has changed, because now we are looking up, our lookup value is going to be this and not this. Okay, it's going to be this. I hope you can see my mouse cursor, and not this one. This one is still B4, so we are changing this to this value here, which is B13. Okay, so we are changing here to 13, B13. So that's our lookup value. Press your enter key. So now we've gotten the unit price for power bank. Okay, so now let's change this. Let's quickly format this cell by changing it to naira. Okay, you can come here and click on currency, because we've already set it to naira. So just click on it and then you have your currency there. Okay, so now we want the same thing here. So what about now we click here. When you click on smartwatches, it gives you the value, okay, the unit price for smartwatches. Let's quickly put our header here. You can come to this point, let's say copy, and come here and say Ctrl V to paste it. Okay, so we have our header. Okay, so now you have this, let's say the unit price, maybe somebody bought 4. We have the E13 versus what? E13, and this one is C13 multiplied by D13. So that's what we have here, C13. So let's just change that 4 to 13. Okay, let's say 13 multiplied by this one, 13. Okay, so put our enter key. So that's what we have here. Okay, you know that if you have buy 4 laptops, this is the total price you have to pay. If you have 20 smartwatches, 10 smartwatches, so it will give you 250, which is what we have here. So now also somebody orders headphone of maybe headphone, let's say 15 headphone, let's say 15 headphone. You see, you have this. So the essence of this is just in case you have up to 100 items on the list, you don't need to, you now have all of it on one cell. You don't need to start typing it and maybe having a very long list. Maybe this is usually used in the supermarket. Maybe somebody wants to buy an item, you already have all the list of your item on one cell. So what item do you want to buy? Okay, I want to buy earpods. Okay, how many earpods? What's the cost of earpods? It's already here, which is 18,000. How many earpods? Give me 3 earpods. The person buys 3 earpods. We already know the cost. This is what you pay. Okay,
thanks for being with me thus far, and ensure you don't miss out in our next class. Share this link to everyone around you so they can be part of this free online training. If you don't need this package today, remember that others might, as more educational content will keep reaching you from this channel. Once again, I remain Deborah from Devitech. Don't fail to subscribe for notification on our upcoming videos. Thanks and bye for now.